Welcome back, tech enthusiasts, to another eye-opening episode of Not So Techy. Today, we're diving into something super important that might just blow your mind. Ever thought about what could happen if a single burst could knock out your car and gadgets? Well, get ready because we're talking about the invisible threat of electromagnetic pulse attacks. Trust me, it's not just some sci-fi stuff, it's real, and it's something we have to take seriously to keep our digital lives safe. The invisible threat. Are your car and gadgets safe? Envision a harrowing reality where a single burst renders your beloved tech, from cars to smartphones, utterly useless. The danger of an electromagnetic pulse, EMP attack, is real and must be taken seriously to protect our digital way of life. So, why should you care about EMP attacks? In our increasingly tech-driven world, an electromagnetic pulse attack poses a severe and often overlooked risk. Our heavy reliance on electronics for everything, such as communication and transportation, makes us vulnerable to this invisible threat. An EMP, whether caused by solar flares or a high-altitude nuclear detonation, can instantly disable electronic systems over large areas. An EMP strike could plunge your life into chaos. Imagine your car refusing to start, your phone going dark, and essential utilities like power and water failing. This isn't just about losing access to your gadgets, it's about safeguarding the very fabric of modern living. Moreover, the implications extend far beyond personal inconvenience. An EMP attack could disrupt national security, cripple critical infrastructure, and destabilize entire economies. As individuals in an interconnected global society, understanding and preparing for such threats becomes a civic responsibility. Addressing these vulnerabilities isn't about paranoia. It's about being informed and proactive. Unsecured electronics represent potential gateways to widespread disruption, affecting everything from healthcare to financial systems. By exploring practical solutions, we can fortify our digital footprints against this invisible adversary. Ultimately, EMP preparedness is about resilience for ourselves, our communities, and our nation. It's important to learn as much as we can about technology and take steps to protect our tech-dependent lives to ensure they can continue even if something goes wrong. Let's explore the science behind EMP. At its core, an electromagnetic pulse, EMP, is a burst of electromagnetic radiation resulting from high-energy explosions like a nuclear detonation or solar flares. To grasp its potential impact, we must understand how EMPs function and why they threaten electronic devices. When an EMP occurs, it generates three key components, E1, E2, and E3. The E1 component strikes with incredible speed, capable of damaging solid-state electronics like computers and communication equipment. The E2 component, while less powerful than E1, can still wreak havoc akin to lightning. The E3 component is a slow pulse that can disable important infrastructure like power grids, similar to a strong geomagnetic storm. Different types of EMP attacks exist. High-altitude nuclear explosions produce all three components, causing widespread damage across vast areas. Non-nuclear EMP weapons, on the other hand, aim for localized disruptions targeting specific military or strategic sites. While full-scale EMP attacks remain hypothetical scenarios, their potential impact is sobering. Power systems could fail massively, leading to prolonged blackouts. Transportation could come to a standstill if vehicle electronics fail. The functionality of medical equipment and record databases is crucial for the well-being of healthcare. Without them, the quality of healthcare would decline significantly. Digital currencies and financial systems could face existential threats due to destabilized networks. Here's a warning story from history. On March 13, 1989, an intense solar storm triggered a massive geomagnetic disturbance on Earth, causing the Hydro-Quebec power grid in Canada to malfunction. The blackout lasted for about 9 hours, affecting the whole province and leaving around 6 million people without electricity. It served as a stark and poignant reminder of our susceptibility to the unpredictable forces of nature even from space. The impact of the solar flare was immediate and severe. Just 90 seconds after the ground-induced current surge, the Quebec power grid failed, plunging the province into darkness. In the aftermath of the blackout, Quebec society and economy suffered considerable disruption. The outage halted business activities, leading to significant financial losses. Schools, businesses, and public institutions were closed, while transportation was severely impacted due to non-functional traffic lights and subway systems. The blackout also posed severe health risks as it disabled essential medical equipment in hospitals and homes. The incident caused a ripple effect demonstrating the interconnectivity and mutual vulnerability of these systems. Luckily, the operators have isolated these grids successfully, preventing a domino effect that could have had a much bigger impact. This event served as a wake-up call to the potential power grid threats in space. In the aftermath of its impact, a concerted effort involving power companies, governments, and international organizations has been underway to develop strategies for safeguarding power grids and other vulnerable technologies against similar events in the future. While not an EMP per se, it demonstrates the vulnerability of our infrastructure to such phenomena. Understanding these consequences highlights the importance of preparing for potential EMP events, which could lead to major disruptions in our technology-driven society. Now we have a question: can we safeguard our tech with practical measures against EMP? In the face of the imminent threat posed by an EMP attack, we find ourselves pondering a crucial question. How can we safeguard our precious electronics and restore a semblance of normality in the aftermath? The answer lies in practical measures tailored to minimize the impact on individual devices and larger electronic systems alike. The cornerstone of personal EMP protection is the Faraday cage. This ingenious device encloses electronics in a conductive container, effectively blocking external electric fields. Commercially available Faraday bags offer a convenient solution for everyday devices such as smartphones and laptops. Essentially, these bags act as miniaturized cages specifically designed to protect your valuable gadgets. For those with a DIY spirit or seeking cost-effective alternatives, constructing your own Faraday cage from common materials like aluminum foil, galvanized steel trash cans, or even certain types of metal filing cabinets can prove highly effective. However, it's crucial to ensure no part of the enclosed device touches the metal exterior to maintain optimal protection. Protecting larger assets like vehicles presents unique challenges due to their size and complexity. To prevent total vehicle failure after an EMP event, you can either keep an older model with fewer electronic components or store critical spare parts like electronic control modules in a homemade Faraday enclosure. Take for example something small and valuable such as digital currencies. As they gain prominence, ensuring their safety becomes paramount. Utilizing hardware wallets encased within electromagnetic shielding pouches represents an effective method to secure these assets from electromagnetic interference. An EMP attack would unfortunately cause your cell phone to stop working immediately with no possibility of repair. You could compare it to your phone going dark suddenly and remaining that way indefinitely. This isn't just about losing access to your favorite apps or not being able to make calls and send texts. It's about losing your primary communication device in a post-EMP world. Furthermore, even if your cell phone is stored in a Faraday cage or bag during an EMP attack and is protected from direct damage, it may still become largely useless. This is because the infrastructure that supports cell phones, cell phone towers, data centers, power grids, and so forth would likely be affected by the EMP. Without these support systems, your cell phone wouldn't be able to connect to networks or access the internet. In essence, an EMP attack could result in you losing all communication capabilities provided by your cell phone. This highlights the importance of understanding such threats and taking measures to safeguard yourself against them. While we may need to deep dive into communication options in a future episode, let's consider how likely are we to protect ourselves from such an EMP attack. Real-world EMP protection, from theory to practice. To bring the theoretical aspects of EMP protection to life, let's explore two tangible examples that illustrate the transition from concept to real-world application. Imagine you've gathered basic supplies, aluminum foil, a cardboard box, and some insulating material like bubble wrap. You carefully wrap your device in the bubble wrap, creating a protective cocoon, then meticulously encase this bundle in multiple layers of aluminum foil, ensuring no gaps or tears. This simple construction acts as your go-to emergency Faraday cage, ready to shield its contents from harmful electromagnetic pulses. While makeshift and seemingly rudimentary, this method effectively demonstrates how easily one can adopt precautions against EMPs with everyday household items. Moving on to a larger-scale example, let's consider the survival of vehicles during an EMP attack. A notable case study is that of vehicles tested during the Operation Starfish Prime nuclear test in 1962 and more recent governmental tests. These instances revealed that while some cars experienced electrical malfunctions due to the EE1 component of an EMP, many weren't permanently damaged and could be restarted post-testing. This outcome suggests that not all hope is lost for modern electronics-equipped vehicles, especially if preemptive measures are taken, such as storing critical spare electronic parts safely within a homemade or commercial Faraday cage. In the modern era, our vehicles are more like computers on wheels. They are packed to the brim with sensitive electronics and complex control systems, making them potentially vulnerable to an EMP attack. Such an event could cripple a car's functionality, leaving you stranded when you least expect it. However, there are several measures you could take to safeguard your vehicle and, if necessary, get it back on the road after an EMP strike. First, consider choosing an older model. One of the simplest ways to protect a vehicle from an EMP is to opt for an older model. Cars manufactured before the mid-1980s typically contain fewer electronic components, making them less susceptible to the effects of an EMP. If you can invest in a reliable older vehicle as an EMP-proof backup, it could be your lifeline in the event of an attack. Use a Faraday cage. A Faraday enclosure or cage, named after physicist Michael Faraday, is a container that can block external electrical fields. This can protect the enclosed electronic devices from harmful EMP effects. While it may not be practical to store your car in a Faraday cage, storing critical spare parts such as electronic control modules inside a homemade or commercial Faraday enclosure could potentially prevent complete vehicular failure post-EMP event. If you're concerned about an EMP attack affecting your 5 to 10-year-old vehicle, it's crucial to prepare by having backup electronic components on hand. Understanding which components are most vulnerable to EMPs can help you protect your vehicle and keep it running even after an EMP event. Here are 5 key electronic components you should consider purchasing as backups. 1. Engine Control Module, ECM. ECM, also known as the Engine Control Unit, ECU, is the brain of your car. It controls the car's engine, including fuel mixture, fuel supply, and timing. Since this is a vital component and susceptible to EMPs, it's prudent to have a spare ECM stored in a Faraday cage. 2. Ignition Control Module. This component is responsible for igniting the air-fuel mixture in your car's engine. An EMP attack could potentially damage this module, leaving your car unable to start. Having a spare could mean the difference between a running vehicle and a stationary one. 3. Electronic Fuel Injection System. Modern vehicles use electronic fuel injection systems for more accurate and efficient fuel delivery. If this system is damaged by an EMP, it could result in poor engine performance or even failure. A backup can ensure your engine gets the right amount of fuel at the right time. 4. Battery. The battery provides the electrical power needed to start your car, and it also supplies energy to parts of the car when the engine isn't running. While car batteries are relatively resilient to EMPs, having a spare can ensure your car will function even if the EMP causes a power surge that depletes your battery. 5. Alternator. The alternator charges your car's battery and powers the electrical system when your car is running. In the event of an EMP attack, your alternator could be compromised. Having a spare alternator will ensure your vehicle can generate its own electrical power. It's important to note that these components should be stored in an EMP-shielded container known as a Faraday cage. This will protect them from the electromagnetic radiation caused by an EMP attack. By preparing and having these key components on hand, you can significantly increase your vehicle's chances of surviving an EMP attack. You may be wondering, can my garage protect my car from an EMP? If not, how could you get to protect your vehicles, and how much would it cost? While a garage may provide physical protection for your car, it's not designed to shield against the electromagnetic radiation produced by an EMP attack. Simply put, your garage's walls, even if constructed from metal, are likely insufficient to deflect the high-intensity electromagnetic pulses associated with an EMP. The effectiveness of a shield against EMP depends on its conductive properties and enclosure construction. The concept of a Faraday cage comes into play here. Named after the famous scientist Michael Faraday, a Faraday cage is a container that can block external static and non-static electric fields by channeling electricity along its exterior. However, to work effectively against an EMP, the enclosure must be a good conductor and completely enclose the protected equipment. Best method is not to need a tech-heavy vehicle, is to consider opting for an older model car that relies less on sensitive electronic systems can be a more cost-effective solution. Vehicles manufactured before the mid-1980s typically contain fewer electronic components, making them less susceptible to EMP damage. The cost of this approach would depend on the price of the older model car you choose to purchase. You can also choose to harden your vehicle. Hardening essentially refers to fortifying your vehicle to withstand an EMP attack. This could involve replacing vulnerable components with robust, EMP-resistant ones, or adding shielding to existing parts. While it can be a technically complex and potentially expensive process, it can significantly enhance your vehicle's resilience against EMPs. Consider stocking up on spare parts. Having a stockpile of critical spare parts can help you get your vehicle running again after an EMP attack. This should ideally include any electronic components that your car can't run without. These parts, when stored in a Faraday cage, can be swapped in to replace those affected by the EMP. Ensure regular maintenance. While regular maintenance of your vehicle won't necessarily protect it from an EMP, it can increase the likelihood of it surviving one. A well-maintained car is generally more resilient and reliable, giving you a better chance of getting it back on the road after an EMP event. In conclusion, while we can't completely eliminate the risk posed by EMPs to our modern electronics-heavy vehicles, these strategies provide practical steps you can take towards mitigating their impact. By preparing ahead of time, you can ensure that you're not left stranded should an EMP attack occur. These illustrations underscore a vital principle. Protecting against EMP effects doesn't exclusively entail high-tech solutions or significant financial investment. By blending an understanding of risk management principles with readily available materials, you can markedly enhance your resilience against electromagnetic disturbances, turning abstract preventive strategies into concrete measures applicable by anyone concerned about safeguarding their technological assets amidst potential EMP threats. EMP protection and key takeaways. As we conclude our exploration into the enigmatic realm of EMP protection, let's distill the essence of what we've uncovered. The invisible threat of an electromagnetic pulse, EMP attack, has the potential to disrupt or decimate our digital lifestyles. From crippling critical infrastructure to rendering personal electronic devices inoperable, the stakes couldn't be higher. Understanding this looming threat is merely the first step. Taking proactive measures to safeguard your technology investments defines true preparedness. Central to this initiative is embracing the Faraday cage as your ultimate defense against EMP disruption. Whether opting for commercial solutions tailored for everyday electronics or venturing into the realm of DIY for homegrown resilience, ensuring your valuable gadgets have a safe haven is paramount. Moreover, extending this protective umbrella to encompass larger assets like vehicles underscores a comprehensive approach. Here, we witness a harmonious blend of creativity and pragmatism, leveraging both modern innovations and simpler, time-honored techniques like securely storing spare parts to ensure continuity even in the most adverse scenarios. For those delving into the world of digital currencies, the highlighted precautions vividly illustrate that financial security transcends encryption and blockchain technology, extending into the tangible realm influenced by natural phenomena and geopolitical dynamics. Our exploration has only served to reinforce a fundamental principle. Knowledge is what empowers action. Armed with insights into EMP threats, their impact spheres, and actionable countermeasures spanning from Faraday enclosures to strategic hardware wallet protections, we adopt an empowered stance against unseen adversaries. Let us view preparation for EMP attacks not through a lens tinted with paranoia, but rather one that appreciates foresight and readiness. Key components fostering not just survival, but thriving continuity amidst challenges posed by our ever-evolving technological landscape. So, there you have it, folks. The invisible threat of EMP attacks is something we can't afford to ignore. But by understanding the risks and taking proactive measures, we can safeguard our tech and ensure continuity in the face of potential adversity. That's a wrap for today's episode. But before you go, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tech insights. And hey, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and drop us a comment below to join the conversation. Thanks for tuning in to Not So Techy, where we keep tech talk simple, fun, and full of energy. See you next time.